Now then, consider this. Last month, Dudley Moore, Ben Cross and a small mob of American movie actors took part in what sounds like a right old freebie aboard the QE2. Of course, it wasn't called a freebie, it was called an intercontinental, or since it originated in America, I dare say an intercontinental, motion picture adventure. Americans seem to regard the letter T as totally redundant when it crops up in words like inter or continental. Anyway, what Dud and Ben Cross and others did was they joined a group of American movie buffs who'd each paid an arm and a leg to come to Britain and pay tribute to Pinewood Studios on its 50th birthday, and then swan back to the States on the QE2. Well, 5 days on the QE2, with no doubt all expenses paid, might sound like a tasty rave-up for the nautical thespians. But on the other hand, you have to remember all those blue-rinsed matrons, and besides, the earnest emphasis of the trip was on learning about the magic of the movies from those who work in them. Tom Brook was there knee-deep in blue-rinsed matrons, and here now is his report.
It began in New York with a transatlantic flight, for those who could afford it, on Concorde. Once in London, the group took in the sights with a boat trip down the Thames. But since the aim was to pay tribute to the British film industry, there was an excursion to Pinewood Studios, which included a behind-the-scenes tour.
Who wants to be hit over the head? It looks like glass, feels like glass, but it's not a problem.
And back in London, these American movie fans held a reception at the Ritz Hotel to honour one of their long-time film favourites, Sir John Mills, which he seemed to appreciate.
I'm touched by tonight. I didn't expect it. I thought it was going to be a small little dinner party, and I'm more than honoured.
And at their hotel, there was an opportunity for the group to meet and relax with a star member of their own party, Dudley Moore.
Well, here we are in the Britannia. And I haven't got a Spaniard to tighten the notes on this keyboard tonight.
But the highlight of the trip had to be the return voyage to New York on board the QE2. As the ship crossed the North Atlantic, here down below in the liner cinema, movie buffs could watch a whole range of films and then afterwards listen to interviews with many of those who appeared in them. A star attraction was actor Ben Cross, who talked about Chariots of Fire, and Dudley Moore, of course, who amused everyone with his wit. There were plenty of other well-known faces from the film world on board too. American actor Charles Durning, Eli Wallach, and his wife, actress Ann Jackson. This intercontinental motion picture adventure, as it was called, had been put together by a New York film professor.
I teach, and I'm always looking for new ways and new venues and new techniques of teaching, because I think that learning should be fun. And what we had here was learning about movies and learning about movie stars and how movies are made and taking people behind the scenes. That learning about movies should be as exciting as movies themselves are.
I loved Arthur. I based him, thank you.
Dudley Moore was the focus of most people's attention. He talked about the roles he has played in the past. He says he hasn't made any films recently, in part because he didn't like the kind of scripts he's been offered.
Well, I just told my agent, I said, I don't want to read anything. Don't tell me what's around. I don't want to know. I really don't want to read anything. And I didn't read anything for a year and a half. And then I've started reading again, and I've said, hello, I'm back. I want to do something. Anything out there? Hello? Hello? No, things have started coming in, and I've in fact just signed up to do a film with TriStar called Like Father, Like Son, which should be going in the new year. And that'll be fun, I think.
Dudley, who was on board with his girlfriend, Brogan Lane, wants any future film roles to portray more stable characters.
I've had so much drama, in a way, in my life that I don't want to portray it in film anymore.
This is quite a unique environment in which to talk about your work, isn't it?
Yes, sort of, yes. I mean, either I'm drunk or the theatre's moving.
A key part of this motion picture adventure was to allow movie fans to mingle with the stars. And at numerous cocktail parties, actors like Charles Durning and Jack Gilford, Carol Kane, as well as Ben Cross and Dudley Moore, were quite amenable to casual chit-chat with whomever approached them.
Feel it! Woo! Tight, tight, now press!
When talk about films and filmmaking got too much, there were plenty of distractions, like keep fit classes, which usually followed overindulgence in the liner's dining room. These movie fans had paid more than £2,000 to take part in the trip, but all thought it was money well spent.
Most definitely. You cannot apportion money to a long period of time. Certainly you could have gone on an enormous trip for what we paid in a lengthy time. But capsuled, it's been a very remarkably interesting trip, which I'll always remember.
The combination of talents that are here, I think we should all make a movie together.
I enjoyed Dudley Moore very much, especially playing the piano. His combination of Beethoven and the Bridge on the River Kwai was, I think, so far the high point for me.
You know, I bet they'll all charge that £2,000 against their income tax on the grounds that the trip was educational. Not a bad wheeze, that.